Welcome in to the latest edition of Rise Above Potential podcast with your host, Coach Justin Ford. I got some exciting news for you guys, going right into it. I recently switched my website from the FordX store to the FordX store, right? The FordX store to just FordX store. And I made the switch from Wix to Shopify, which has been really nice. And the biggest driver behind the move and switch was I just felt, and I know the capabilities of Wix was limiting my interactions with customers, but that's fine because it was a great opportunity to learn business, learn how to make decisions and stick with those decisions. And I'm extremely grateful for the time I spent with Wix is just trying to grow and scale my e-commerce business. Just wasn't going to work in that particular environment, right? And so, part of the Rise Above Potential podcast is discussing that ability to go beyond where you're at. And to do that, you have to make serious decisions. You have to figure out, okay, this is where we're at, where we're going to go, what direction do I need to go in as a business owner and as an e-commerce store brand owner. And, making those decisions, I don't take lightly, right? It's one of those things you have to make a decision, right? And, when you have to make those decisions, I'm happy about the decision. I hear often scratch your own itch. And for me, when I got on my old website, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was going to help me take what I wanted to do in the brand that I wanted to build to the next level. And if I just had a generic, basic website, if I was what's the best way to put this? If I was a massive warehouse distributor or as I was a manufacturer and I was just taking orders, that's fine. But for what I'm doing with my Now Faith brand and my Serve and Inspire lines, it needed to be interactive. It needed to be a better way to engage the end consumer. It needed to be a better way for me when I jumped on there and I had some excitement. And I'm looking at it every single time I get on, looking at, okay, how can we improve? So setting a presence on what direction I wanted to grow and scale, and I didn't feel that I could grow and scale on the Wix platform. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was great for what I needed. It allowed me to start the initial steps in building my business. And, Shopify is a costly investment in terms of what I can do, but it's so much better in terms of integration from my POS to my online store. And it gives me tons of options that I didn't have with Wix, right? Such as the pickup option. man, can I say frustrating? Frustrating. And, the biggest thing that was frustrating about it was there was no separation, right? And I couldn't really, separate, okay, this is a pickup item. This isn't a pickup item. This is a kiosk item. And so getting people to do that on their own is extremely difficult, right? Because anyways, so it's just better in terms of streamline and automation and the ability to build a business. And I felt restricted, with the Wix software. I don't feel so restricted with Shopify, and I feel free, and I feel that Shopify is, and honestly, it's built for e-commerce brands. It's built for e-commerce store owners. And, it's stuff that you don't know until you actually build your business. You don't know until you actually get in the mix of things. It's things you don't know until you actually start building it. And so if you get a chance, go in there and check out my website. And what's this website about? What is this episode about? Make a decision. Make a decision and stick with it. Make a decision on the person you're going to become and stick with it. Make a decision on, say, this is direction that I'm going to do, and I'm going to follow it, and I'm going to encourage you and challenge you to start making some decisions and stick to your guns and say, okay, hey, this is the direction I want to go. And so for me, I'm making an intentional decision to become a multimillionaire. I've said this in multiple of my podcasts, and not to become a multimillionaire to be a multimillionaire, but to become a multimillionaire to make a profound impact on the world. And I believe, and I want to address something that one of these YouTubers or one of these YouTube people said into one of my posts about and I want to expand on this. Whenever you have a problem, sometimes you can't fix a problem, right? Sometimes the problem shouldn't be fixed. Sometimes the problem needs to be understood. And I'm going to double down on it. What does this mean? And the example they used was, it's a leak. What if you have a leaking roof and a leaking pipe in the ceiling and all this stuff? Okay, 1,000%. I understand it. That's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about here is, you have a miscommunication problem with somebody and they're not going to talk to you, or somebody refuses to grow and change. That's a problem that you acknowledge. They're not going to acknowledge it. You can't fix that communication gap for that person. You're not going to fix a communication gap for other people. And so understand that those are things we just have to go through and deal with in life. And so, but make a decision. And, if I could title this today, make a decision. And why I decided to switch to Shopify. It's going to be so much better. Now I need to go and redo all of my YouTube subscriptions to redirect to my new Facebook, not my new Facebook page, but to redirect to my new site, which is the Ford X store. And you'll be able to get my merch and you'll be able to get all that stuff in there. And honestly, you don't have to buy anything if you believe what I believe, right? So when I started doing this, my merch is the Now Faith brand. And the biggest thing with the Now Faith brand is, this is my life. And I didn't know it. When I was younger, I had Now Faith. Now I have Now Faith. And understanding that my entire journey, and a lot of people's journey, has been built off faith. If you wake up every single day and you pursue a thing, you're living in faith. And it's hard because your faith gets tested. And it's like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what direction I'm going in. And so when I decided, and again, there's that word, I decided to build my e-commerce business. Sales aren't phenomenal. Sales aren't great. I'm not starting off with $1 million. And a lot of that reason is because I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared to be a multimillionaire. I wasn't ready to make $60,000. I didn't know. I didn't have a direction on what I was doing. And so with my podcast and with these shows is to be honest and transparent. Say, okay, this is where I started. And Alex Ramosi says it best: do stuff and then talk about it. Right. And sometimes it just gets harder and harder for me to jump on a camera and talk about it because I want to get things done. I want to improve. I want to get after it. And so it's important that me as an individual keep putting the horse in front, right, and not the cart. And sometimes it's easy to say, I want to take the cart and I want to put it in front of the horse, and that just doesn't happen. And so what I would challenge you and to challenge anybody else is continue to let the horse do what it's doing and you lead the direction. Stop trying to take the cart in front of the horse, right? And if you're a business owner, great. If you're not a business owner, if you're just somebody that's like, I need my faith strengthened up, tune into my show, join with me on Facebook. And honestly, my stuff's all over the place, and I have to do a much better job of zoning in my messaging and not being so stressed out over all kinds of different platforms. And so I think once I have that understood and once I get a better job, it's just like I'm struggling with letting it go. It's like I'm addicted to having all these pages, and I'm slowly starting to delete some pages and getting it refined. And then once I do that, I think I'll be in a much better place. And so, a couple of things that I did notice in the last couple of weeks is that I suck at marketing. My marketing sucks. My strategy sucks. It all sucks. But, part of growth and rising above your potential is saying, okay, I'm stuck somewhere. Like I keep hitting this ceiling or I keep hitting this wall. And why do I keep hitting this wall? Why do I keep hitting this ceiling? And having honest conversations with myself. Even right now, I'm fighting with myself. Like, why am I still posting? Right? Nobody's watching. Nobody's listening. And that's where doubt tries um, that's where doubt tries to sit in there, and that's where resentment and all those things try sitting at home and telling you all these things, and you just got to tune those things out. And it's important that for me, being a believer of Christ is setting that cross between my human mind and my faith mind and my spiritual mind, and separating those two, and really saying, okay, I know it's going to work. I feel it. It's right there. I'm at the edge of the promised land. I was wondering for 7 months, and I've been wondering longer than that. Honestly, I've been wondering for 7, 8 years, 10 years, honestly, from when I started as in 23 and just wondering until this point. And so I've been blessed and fortunate that steps have been put in front of me and that I'm learning every single day. And my content's not sexy. My content is to help teach somebody. My content is to help somebody else follow this journey. This is my blog. This is my life. And so, and it's not for me, right? I don't have to be on social media to live my life. I can live my life perfectly fine without it, playing chess and being left alone, but I'm doing it for the individual that's struggling and they don't know that they can be great and they don't know they can do awesome things. And so I'm here to say, hey, you're able to do phenomenal things. And so because you're able to do phenomenal things, let's pursue greatness. Pursue the greatest version of yourself. And so I wrote that in my book, Just Do Your Job, an action book to unlock the potential within. And there's so much more direction that I'm personally going. And so if that resonates with you, do me a favor, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. And go back and watch some of my older videos. You'll see the drastic change as I'm not going to say I'm trying, as I'm figuring out and I'm getting better at this direction. I'm getting better at the things in which that I need to improve at. All right, so I don't like doing long videos. That's not me. I'm more of a long, short form kind of guy, 10, 12, 15 minutes at tops, and then get off here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Again, Rise Above Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and have a wonderful day. I hope you guys had a good Labor Day. This is when this is recorded. It's also going out on Labor Day. So if you watch it today, great. If you didn't, I understand. But enjoy your week, and I will talk to you soon.